Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Evening News for today, Saturday, October 1st, 2022. I am Timothy Jaikran. Thank you for tuning in. In the headlines, girl 10 dies after being struck by drunk speeding driver in LETHEM. Man rushing son to hospital kills pedestrian on West Coast Demerara Road. Woman found dead in West Bank Demerara home. CANU finds 4.7 million in marijuana at West Coast Berbice. CJIA records 90% increase in passenger arrivals for September, and government to launch 2022 bidding for oil blocks soon. Now for the news in detail. We begin tonight's newscast by telling you that a 10-year-old girl succumbed to head injuries on Friday night after she was struck down by a drunk driver who was speeding in LETHEM earlier in the day. Find out more in this report.
The dead girl has been identified as Ruth Glasgow, a student of Arapaima Primary School. The accident occurred at about 16:40 on 3rd Street Central, Rupununi, LETHEM. Reports are that Glasgow, who was at the Tabatinga Sports Complex ground, exited the compound with her mother and was standing on the western parapet of the road leaning against her bicycle and eating when she was struck down by motorcar PLL 2547. Police say the vehicle was proceeding north along the center of 3rd Street, LETHEM at a fast rate of speed, and while negotiating a left turn, the driver lost control and collided with the schoolgirl. The child and her cycle were flung some distance further north on the said road, causing her to sustain injuries to her head and body. The schoolgirl was picked up in an unconscious condition by public-spirited citizens and taken to the LETHEM Regional Hospital, where she was treated and immediately referred to Boa Vista, Brazil via ambulance to seek further medical attention. However, at about 22:40 Friday night, 10-year-old Ruth succumbed to her injuries while undergoing emergency medical treatment in Boa Vista. Meanwhile, at the scene following the accident, police ranks conducted 2 breathalyzer tests on the driver, both of which were above the legal limit in terms of blood alcohol content. A notice of intended prosecution was served on the driver, 23-year-old Navindra Narain of Tabatinga, LETHEM. Police say he was initially charged on Friday for dangerous driving and driving under the influence of alcohol. However, this was before the 10-year-old died. New charges are expected to be laid against the driver. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchand.
Meanwhile, an East Bank Demerara man is now dead after he was struck by a speeding motorcar whose driver was rushing to take his son to the hospital. Dead is 43-year-old Umesh Ramkishan of Lot 38 First Street Grove, East Bank Demerara. Police say that about 19:15 hours on Friday evening, a 47-year-old resident of Seaview, Ano Catherine, West Coast Demerara, was driving motorcar PZZ 9115 at a fast rate of speed to take his son, who attempted suicide, to the West Demerara Hospital. However, while in the vicinity of the Harlem Public Road, West Coast Demerara, the car struck down Ramkishan, who was crossing the road in company of another pedestrian. As a result of the collision, Ramkishan fell onto the bonnet of the windscreen of the car and received injuries to his head and body. His right foot was also severed from his body. The pedestrian's lifeless body was picked up by the police and escorted to the West Demerara Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. The body of the deceased is presently at Ezekiel Mortuary, awaiting a post-mortem examination. Meanwhile, the driver is in custody, assisting with investigations. We now tell you that the CJIA International Airport experienced an increase of 90% in passenger arrivals for September 2022 when compared to September 2021. This is the highest figure of arrivals ever recorded in September. More in this report.
During the month of September, the CJIA International Airport processed some 31,050 international passengers. This notable increase in passenger arrivals has been credited to the influx of visitors for the Cricket Carnival activities, which is a 2-week celebration that coincides with Guyana hosting the semi-finals and finals of the 2022 Hero Caribbean Premier League tournament that ended on Friday. CJIA Chief Executive Officer Ramesh Gir said that this is the highest number ever recorded for September, September. He added, and I quote, "I believe the enthusiasm behind the Cricket Carnival activities is responsible for these numbers we are seeing today. During this period, our overall objective was to ensure an efficient, hassle-free arrival process. We worked with our stakeholders to put systems in place to avoid any delays. Our airport is one of the first point of entry into Guyana, and therefore we have an important role to play in creating a lasting first impression for our visitors." End quote. Cricket Carnival is being held under the One Guyana banner, which aims to bring people together and celebrate, promote, and market Guyana's rich, vibrant culture. This initiative is a brainchild of President Dr. Irfan Ali, who said during Friday night's CPL final match between Jamaica Tallawahs and the Barbados Royals that the Cricket Carnival is also aimed at showcasing the Caribbean and bringing its people together.
This week was just exceptional. You know, this is the first year of hosting the finals. We wanted to bring cricket with our regional culture, our food, our people together, integrate everything into one product, and it was just exceptional. Today I got the numbers for September. This is the highest September arrival ever at the CJIA International Airport. A huge part of our diaspora came back. People from the region came. And look, today this is a final. The Amazon Warriors are not involved in this finals, and yet it's completely packed. This is what cricket is about. This is what the region is about. It's about people coming together and enjoying themselves, celebrating each other.
The Cricket Carnival activities continues tonight with a super concert headline by soca sensation Marsha Montano and will culminate on Sunday with the parade throughout the streets of Georgetown. The Evening News, Luana McAllister.
The much-anticipated auction of the oil blocks offshore Guyana will be launched soon as the People's Progressive Party civic government is currently finalizing the new fiscal terms and conditions necessary to attract the highest bidders with the most benefits for the country and its people. Here is Gerald Bryan with the details.
The announcement of the impending auction of Guyana's oil blocks was made by the Ministry of Natural Resources on Friday. In a statement, they explained that bidding will be open soon and will stay open for several months. This, according to the ministry, will give interested companies sufficient time to prepare their competitive packages and bid. To this end, it was noted that Cabinet is concluding definitive terms of reference for the competitive licensing round. These TORs will foster a conducive investment environment while maximizing value for the people of Guyana. They further assure that the government remains committed to getting a fairer share of oil revenues as well as managing risks. Additionally, there will be an intensive promotion of the bidding round in keeping with international best practices. Earlier this month, Vice President Barry Jaidio had indicated that the oil block auction will run until January to February next year. The auction is expected to attract global interest, although experts have warned that it is important to balance the PSA's production sharing agreement fiscal terms. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
Police in Regional Division 3 are investigating the alleged murder of a woman whose body was found in her Lagrange West Bank Demerara home on Friday. The dead woman has been identified as 33-year-old Nirmala Sukhai, a laborer of Lot 35 Factory Dam, Lagrange. According to the police, the woman was killed sometime between 23 hours on Thursday and 16 hours on Friday at her home, where she resided alone. Her lifeless body was discovered by her mother, who had gone to pay her a visit. Police say Sukhai's body was found lying face down on the bed, with a top and no undergarments. A reddish substance suspected to be blood was seen oozing from her mouth. The scene was canvassed by investigators, who also found a pair of gray short pants with a cut in the back. Additionally, a brown-handled knife was found under the deceased's body on the bed. Nirmala's body is currently at the Ezekiel Funeral Home, awaiting a post-mortem examination. Several persons have been questioned by the ranks at the Lagrange police station as investigations continue. Coming up on the other side of the break, CANU finds $4.7 million in marijuana at West Coast Berbice. Please stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Jiren Safri, and I'm very excited to have GT&T set up this fiber cable. As you can see, I'm young, so I'll be using this Wi-Fi, this internet, to be doing my everyday browsing and searching and, you know, just my homework and assignments, playing games, watching YouTube, you know, the regular stuff. I really enjoy the service. I think it's extremely great. And you also have like the free minutes, so for that, you know, if you're in trouble, you call your parents or someone.
Welcome back, you're watching the evening news. Ranks of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit discovered over 34 pounds of marijuana during an operation at Experiment Bat, West Coast Berbice, earlier today. Reports are that CANU officers went to Lot 365 Experiment Bat, where a search was conducted on a minibus bearing license plate number BZZ 4342, during which a quantity of suspected cannabis was discovered. A further search was conducted on motorcar PTT 7821, which was also at the location, and this resulted in the discovery of another quantity of suspected cannabis. Pramal Madre, 38, of the said address, was arrested and escorted to CANU headquarters, along with the narcotics and both motor vehicles. The 10 parcels of our narcotics tested positive for cannabis and weighed 15.8 kilograms, with a street value of approximately 4.7 million. Investigations are ongoing. With the recent rise in fires at schools over the past 2 years, the Guyana Fire Service has been making moves to curb such occurrences in the future. This is according to Fire Chief Gregory Wickham. LaWanda McAllister has more.
Fire Chief Gregory Wickham said during a recent event that the Guyana Fire Service has observed the rise in fire, especially in schools, and has begun training persons to curb these incidents.
We have reached out to our intelligence field, recognizing that there were many fires within the school structure, Ministry of Education buildings. And so over the period, we would have trained no less than 250 security personnel from the Ministry of Education that is lending support.
He said these persons are now equipped and educated on how to deal with fires in the incipient stage so that we can avoid the fires at learning institutions. The fire chief added that they have also reached out to members of various policing groups, in which they have trained all the members of these policing groups.
Educating them so that they are able to partner with the Guyana Fire Service so as to build capacity and to lend support in a time of need. Education, the pillar.
Over the past 2 years, at least 5 schools have been affected by fire. These include the North Rheinfeldt Multilateral School and the St. George's High School, both in Georgetown, the Essequibo Technical Institute, the Amelius Ward Primary School in Region 10, and the Northwest Secondary School. The most recent fire occurred on Monday last at the Essequibo Technical Institute, which is electrical in nature. However, severe damages were avoided due to a quick response by the Guyana Fire and Rescue Service. LaWanda McAllister reporting for the Evening News.
We now tell you that 74 firefighters, 44 of whom were trained for firefighting, and 30 emergency technicians on Friday graduated from a 9-week technical training program at the Guyana Fire Service Training Center at Leonora, West Coast, Demerara. LaWanda McAllister joins us with the details.
The training program provided basic recruitment knowledge to the new fire service recruits and EMT officers who are now equipped to carry out firefighting and rescue duties. At the graduation ceremony, Home Affairs Minister Robertson Ben said the Guyana Fire Service is making the necessary strides in positioning young people for the future.
I want to join with those before in applauding the efforts of the Guyana Fire Service in continuing the effort to train our young people to take over the roles, the positions, the activities which are pivotal to Guyana's development.
The aim of the program is to provide firefighters and EMTs capable of upholding the value of the services of the Guyana Fire Service. As such, Ben said the support and sustenance must first come from the homes of the recruits. The Home Affairs Minister added that the fire service is at a pivotal point in terms of its development, and the new recruits will add to the strength of the fire service.
The fire service has to arrive to meet the expectations and the challenges in terms of our country's development at this historical point in our country's history. We have always had, of course, challenges all over Guyana in respect of fires, mostly wooden houses, wooden city, and fairly rudimentary approaches to fire fighting and fire service. And even though I heard too the question of in 1985, I think Mr. Sparman mentioned in 1985 the medical service was suspended. And so I think we should feel proud somehow that we are now talking about or putting in new fire stations across the country, that we are even now intended to expand the ambulance services.
The prospective firefighters were hand-picked and drawn from different parts of the country. To qualify for the course, candidates were required to be academically and physically functional individuals between the ages of 18 and 35. They were interviewed and assessed by the members of the Training and Recruitment Board. Luana McAllister for the Evening News.
We will now take a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbor Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Sunday, October 2nd, 2022 at 22 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 8 hours 25 on Sunday, October 2nd, 2022, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
And now the local stock exchange market, compliments of Gassy. Tallawahs clinched third CPL title after defeating Royals. This and more coming up in the Sportscast, sponsored by Macor.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Contractors, let the quality of your road constructions speak for themselves by investing in a walk-behind vibratory roller from Sylvies. Apart from improving productivity, our roller provides better compaction for soil and asphalt. Designed with the ability to turn, this machine also offers great flexibility for precise work near walls and sidewalks. Order it now before it's gone at sylviesonline.com or at our 31 High and Hatfield Street store.